And so while I'm getting the live stream ready, of course, that entails me trying to do two things at once. And sometimes that's easy to do and sometimes not. So to let everyone who's tuning in, because this, I'm going to be sending you this raw footage for you to upload on your um, YouTube account as well. Okay, so it looks like we're live now. Let me double check on my telephone here and make sure that's the case. Of course.
You know what? Yeah, I just got a notification that
Did
Sheila's
you?
live.
Okay, yeah. Okay, good. Good. I see it now. I have up the live chat and everything. So, my name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to Sassy Seer Sheila. I am joined today by Julie Wise, my good friend, who has now, you'll have to share exactly. I know you're an artist and I know you have, a regular job and everything too. And are you still working with the Friends of Jason Gray Facebook page, or is that now Amber alone, or how's
Um,
it going?
yeah, for I think maybe a month or two now, I started posting there again, and I've been posting the keys there. So that kind of falls right in line with me painting them and everything. So I think it all goes together. Yeah.
Okay.
So like a few days a week, I will post one of the key videos, and I've just gone in the series of them. I'm up to number 31, I think I have now on the Friends of Writer Jason Gray page.
Okay.
So
Awesome. All right.
yeah.
And just to give you and everybody else a heads up too, I know that Amber has been kind of busy as well, and we've kind of tentatively set a time in September to get together and have a chat. So, in case anybody was wondering. So I called this the art of connection, and we were kind of chatting about that before we went live, as to the why. Whenever I schedule something in Zoom, sometimes a title will come in immediately and sometimes not. This one came in immediately. And I suspect that the reason for that is that there's a special connection, I feel, that you're having with these particular paintings that you're doing. Because and this is so very interesting to me because Jason's writings are affecting a lot of different people in a lot of different ways. I know that they affect me in a myriad of ways, and they're doing that for you as well. And you are channeling that into art. And in particular, right now, the 33 keys. Now, please help me. Did I do all 33 of the keys? I feel like I did, but I'm not sure if I did it in order. I mean, sometimes because I'm guided to record things in a particular sort of way, and there's there's a part of me that's not present for that. I know that sounds crazy, but that is the way that goes for me. And so I know that I did all of the RZN series that you sent to me, but I think there's more of that now, and I have no idea where to begin with that. But
Neither do
these are
I.
right
It's massive. I haven't figured out the pattern to it. Yeah.
right. And these 33 keys, I want to say were pretty early on in my finding of Jason.
The
Uh,
keys originally, yes. So in 2025, he did post the 33 keys, but I think he segmented them. And so he posted them originally as like 0 through 12 and 13 through such and such. And I'm probably wrong with the numbers, but they were posted a little bit differently. And then this year he transcribed them individually. And so then we could see what the keys looked like on their own and sort of a fuller transmission description of what they are.
okay. Well, thank you
Yeah.
for that because as you're saying that, that is exactly what I recall because it was not the absolute first thing I recorded, because the first thing I recorded was something he asked me to record. But then following closely behind that was the 33 keys. So that was almost fully, almost not quite, but fully a year and a half, maybe almost 2 years ago. And so that's why I was having a time recalling that, because it wasn't, you're right, it wasn't individually when I recorded them. They were
Mhm,
segmented. And
mhm.
so they are, if one looks at in the playlist that I have set up, you will find them at pretty close to the oldest. You can sort the items in the playlist to the oldest and find it there if you're interested. And then you've done them by number, is that right?
The keys? Yes. So I put those in a separate playlist, and anything that I could tell that was more of a series, I broke out into separate playlists now. So I have, I think 9 or 10 playlists of just the recordings of Jason's that I've done on my
Awesome.
YouTube channel. And yeah, so for me, it helps me to keep them straight. And then if people do want to follow the series, they can start watching the first one, and then they can just continue to watch them and watch the series, in kind of chronological order. So I
Right.
think that's helpful for them.
No, you're absolutely right. I did not, because I wasn't made aware of those sorts of things until the RZN series and the series about the sun and the meta keys, which I'm about to begin. I hope if he would stop posting things I get pinged upon immediately, or asking me specifically to record something, which my experience with that just recently here has been off the chain. But yeah, I didn't realize that until the RZN series. And so there are several playlists now on my channel of some of his works. Most everything gets under the works of Jason Gray, author Jason Gray, but because I do so much more than just Jason's work, but then there are also separate playlists that have to do with Jason's work. So talk to me about your experiences with these keys that you are now, and tell me first of all, how did it happen that you knew you had to paint the keys?
Hmm. Um,
The
that's a good
last time.
question. I don't know if I have a good answer for that, honestly, as far as what drove me to paint them in the first place. But I can tell you that after I painted the first three, something in me just said, there's a reason why I'm painting these. I have no idea what that reason is. I'm just continuing to paint them. But while I'm experiencing things that kind of coincide with what the keys are explaining. And so as I go through some of the ones that I've done, I can talk a little bit more specifically, but yeah, I'm having spiritual experiences with doing them, as if the energy just of working with them in this way is moving through me as I'm painting them. So it's kind of hard to explain. So some of them have taken me a bit longer. Some of them I have almost fought with, in my psyche. Some of them have been like a surprise to me. It's been a really interesting experience. Some of them will sit with me, and then I'll think, nope, that's not right, and I'll completely redo them. So it's just how the energy of the transmission is moving through me at the time. So I'd love to get through them quickly and have them all done and ready to go, but I can't. I physically can't, because there are things that I have to work through as I'm doing them.
Well, I find that kind of interesting. When we first started talking about this, in one of our first conversations that we did, where you were showing some other paintings that you did of Jason's, I thought you were aware that you painted Jason in that picture of the sun. and
Mm-hmm.
you were not aware.
Mm-mm.
And I feel as though I've witnessed another painting similar to that, the one that you posted today. I kind of feel as though I see an outline of Jason in that picture.
Hmm.
At least,
That's
like I said,
interesting.
yes, I find it very interesting to me as well.
Yeah, I
When I
didn't even catch that.
when when I saw it, I was like, I wonder if she realizes it's in there again.
I want to see how many you see that with.
Okay. Well, and here's the thing, and this is what I love about art in particular. Art is a very subjective medium because how it affects each of us has to do with our perspective, our perception filters, which goes into how we see our perspective, all of those things, which is why it is so very subjective. Just like most anything, I feel like nowadays, it really is. We are so unique in all of the experiences that we experience through our human vessel that it's going to be a one of a kind experience, I feel, for each being. And that's actually the way it's meant to be. We try so hard to be normal. And we just want to be like everybody else. Well, we are. We're unique because each one of us is unique.
Mhm.
It took me, 65 years to get to that knowledge, but at least it's finally here. Jam Bam 7747. Crap, I'm late. Hi, ladies.
Oh, I haven't
Saw your,
started showing anything yet.
saw your post, Julie. I hope I didn't miss too much. No, you didn't. We haven't been here very long, so you didn't miss much yet. She hasn't started. But I bet that each one of them that you have painted has been completely different.
There are some similarities. Like you can tell it's a series, and that's what I love about it because there are some that you're going to see similar shapes in, a similar pattern, maybe even, and then there are others that are so completely different that it's just kind of like it must have just moved through me differently. But I channel as well, and so for the most part, what I do is I start with a shape or a color, and that's what comes to me first, and then I'll go from there. Key 13 dropped in as fully complete. That was the first one that did that. So I could see the finished product and I could see what every layer of it was going to look like. And I got to layer 3 and I was like, nope, this doesn't feel right. I missed the mark on whatever it needed. And so I sat with it, I think almost another week and was just kind of like, I don't know what to do with this painting, but also felt like I couldn't move on until that one was done. I'm going in order. And so it finally got to the point where the energy had worked its way through me enough because that was when I was going through recently dealing with some things that had come up, And so once that cleared and I was feeling a little bit more integrated again, I started to work on it again. And it ended up finishing differently than what the full download was. So good, bad, or indifferent, it's just how it finished. So
Well, it's okay. So it sounds to me like you're having sort of a similar experience with Jason's work that I am because of the way I move through. I made myself and my larger self a promise that I would follow all my nudges, whether I understood them or not, because I had come to feel that my greater, more expansive part of me had all of this in hand and was trying to show me something. And I'm now smart enough to know that I know pretty much nothing. So I don't mind leaving myself open, finally, to being shown something. And that's the only way that I feel I can continue on in this particular life is to allow that larger portion of myself to, because it uses everything in my field to try to get my attention. And sometimes that's hard. And so as a result, I said this in another video, and I think I'd said it live yesterday. Jason had asked me specifically to record two things for him this past week. And I like to do that for him when he asks, because he asks so rarely. And I tried for 3 days and I had a particular order in which I knew they were to be recorded. And all 3 of those days, I couldn't get it. I tried all 3 days, but I was prevented at every turn. I tried to push through, even though I felt that I wasn't to record. I tried to push through. And I was rewarded by not doing that, by not pushing through. My psyche was not ready. And that's what I've come to know. When that kind of thing happens, because I also see very clearly now that's what was going on here on the planet. The evolution of consciousness is that each being may or may not be ready for a particular thing to be shown. And so I'm wondering, does that sound at all familiar to, because that's what I
Oh
heard
yeah.
you say. Yeah, okay. I was just wondering if you were experiencing that as well, because I
Oh,
have a
definitely.
feeling everyone is, whether they realize it or not. I have a feeling that is what's happening on the planet. And if we just trust our larger being, um, it makes it an easier ride. At least it has for me.
Yeah, when we try to control it or we try to push through, like you said, um, it doesn't go nearly as smoothly. Sometimes it's worse or it's horrible or, so yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
when we just kind of let go and relax, of course, it's way easier.
And downright miraculous feeling, actually. I mean, that's what I have noticed for myself, the synchronicities that present at that point go beyond magical, mystical, and fun, to be
Yeah.
honest. Yeah,
Yeah, that's when we see the miracles because then it's something better than we could have done ourselves in our
absolutely.
limited little minds.
Absolutely. I could not agree more.
Yeah.
And so I really feel as though it within your art, and that's why I think I named this the art of connection, because you're not only connecting with Jason's work and Jason by proxy, you're also connecting with that larger portion of yourself, which is the most important.
Mhm.
And you're allowing yourself to be shown things that maybe you otherwise might not have seen. And
Yeah.
I absolutely adore that because I know what that feels like for myself. And
Yeah.
the fact that
There's
you're allowing that.
there's a difference between reading the transmissions to yourself, recording them on a video and speaking them out loud, and then painting them. And the energy has moved differently through me, It's like I've spiraled back in and through them again because of the way that I've interacted with them. So I think it's important for people who are drawn to them to read them out loud, but to read them again and as Jason has said, print them off, write notes about them, read them, ask yourself questions, like really dive into them because they're more than just writing. I mean, they're life changing. They are hints and keys at ways of looking at ourselves that maybe we wouldn't have otherwise and to return us to who we really are. So they're absolutely tremendous and I'm more than happy to do what I'm doing. So I do want to talk a little bit first because I did forget to mention this in my post that I do see these in a gallery showing with the full transmissions of Jason's writing underneath them, but they will be 100% for minimum donations. And I haven't decided yet what the minimum donation amount per piece is yet, so I don't have that number with me today, but They will be 100% for donation. I will be splitting that half with Jason for his portion, of course, of writing the transmissions and inspiring me in the first place. But so half will go to my local charities, and then half will go to the charities that Jason supports, which I believe are the homeless and the addicted in his community. And if he sees otherwise, that's up to him. But that's what they're for, because I donate my work. It's just something I really enjoy doing. So
Well, I love that. I absolutely love that. For me, that's really what it's all about. And I don't know, for there's something special about doing things like this because first of all, the very first thing you're doing is it for yourself. I mean, that's the way I envision it for myself. Um, and and then if someone else benefits from it, so much the better, right?
mhm.
And I kind of feel like I can feel that from you as well. So I just adore that. Now, and the gallery will more than likely be where you are locally, correct?
I'm looking locally, yeah, because of the size of this. The paintings are each 3 feet by 3 feet, and there's going to be 33 of them. I just finished number 14 this morning. And so it's starting to take up some space. And so transporting all of those, I mean, it could be done. I'd rent a U-Haul if I had to, but and take them wherever they needed to be. But yeah, I mean, locally is okay too. So I'm flexible on that.
Right. Okay. Well, I don't know why I felt moved to ask that, but there's for some reason it feels like it would be lovely to have a traveling exhibit um, for a time at least. I don't know why I feel that, but um,
That
and
would be wonderful.
well,
Mhm.
and who knows what would come of that.
Yeah.
Open to all sorts of ideas. I hope you are anyway.
I am, yeah. If someone would want to commission this and help financially support it, because there's still a little bit of work to be done aside from the painting. They all need to have proper wiring done for hanging. I would love to see them all framed, which I'm probably not able to do on my own. So if anybody wanted to commission the collection, and support it in that way, that would be amazing also. So yeah.
Well, I kind of feel like eventually it would I'm feeling like it is an important thing that you're doing there for humanity as a whole. And so you're right. Should a benefactor make itself known, I would love to suggest that that's what they do,
Mhm.
that they see to it that they are a gift to humanity and that they go on walkabout, to be honest.
That'd be
Um,
wonderful.
yes, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Honestly, okay, so early on in my journey, my quest for the truth of who I am, I was exposed to the work of William Henry. And
Mm.
he did a series on Gaiam TV called Arcane. And in that, the minute I say series again, she's going to try to come on. My phone just tried to come on. In it, he talked about how art contained within it keys and codes, very much like what we feel is happening with Jason's work. I feel like that's the case for your work. And that is why I'm saying that in regards to your work. And so, if there were anyone out there who thought, "Ooh, I wonder if I could do that," or "Ooh, maybe I could contribute to and see about doing something like that," um, there's all myriad of ways that something like that could happen. And, I don't know, I kind of feel like and now I'm being shown the RZN series because I feel the RZN series is very important. And these keys and the RZN series is why I'm saying that about how they could be important for humanity.
Mhm.
And so, that's just my thoughts and feelings about it, but I would love to see something like that happen with your work.
Yeah. I feel like it's a language.
Yes,
Once it's completed, it'll maybe make a little bit more sense to me, but that's why keeping it together as a collection for a bit first and having it travel around would be really incredible, because then people could see it all together and maybe understand how it fits together before it's kind of parsed out and sold. So yeah.
right. Well, things like that can awaken things in people that they
Hmm.
don't even realize is there.
Yep.
And that's why I'm saying that.
Yep.
And I got a feeling that that could be part of it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I would love, and if there's any way possible that I can assist with any of that, just let me know. Not that I could do anything, monetarily wise, but hey, I got all kinds of ideas.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to have you there for the gallery showing, so hopefully we can figure out a way to make that work. So
Well, absolutely.
that would
I
be
would
awesome.
love to be present for that and document it and all of that. You're absolutely right. I would adore that. That is what Candy, my was to be camper van was supposed to be for, things like that, so that
Yeah.
I could travel and have a bedroom and a studio all in one, to go around different places. And
Yeah.
so, who knows? As a matter of fact, I think I said yesterday, and I didn't do it because I just didn't get out of the house. I had the feeling I was to buy a lottery ticket yesterday, and I didn't do it. So I just now remembered that.
I saw that on your live. Yeah. I'm like, well, hopefully she goes and buys one.
No, I didn't. I wasn't
No.
quite sure where to go here locally, and um, I'm on my own for the weekend, so no, I didn't even leave the house.
I've had
And
those
quite
days.
frankly, it went right out of my head.
Oh, that
Went right
happened to
out of my
me
head.
a few months ago, and I was like, darn it, what would have happened? We just
I
don't.
know.
I was at a surgery center. My mom had surgery. My name is Julie. The woman sitting next to me was there with her friend having surgery. Her name was Julie. The receptionist's name was Julie. And there was a game show on the television, and the contestant's name was Julie.
Oh my. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot of
Yeah.
synchronicity right
And
there.
it's not that common of a name anymore. It just isn't. You don't hear it a lot. And so I think it was the receptionist that said we should all go buy lottery tickets. And I've thought many times, what if I would have remembered to buy a lottery ticket? You never know. So
No, that's right. That,
it's funny.
and or there was something trying to get all of you guys' attention.
Yes. Yeah.
Something was calling that to the fore. Now, it could very well be that just your presence, because that's something that I've come to know. As we have been working with our own presence, our shadow work, our resolving of traumas that haven't been resolved. We carry around that solution in our field. And so it could have been that you were there, just there to activate someone else.
Hmm.
Perhaps all those Julies, never know.
Interesting.
Well, that's the way I've been shown it works, so you never know.
Yeah. Hmm. All
Yeah,
right. So should we look at some paintings?
I would love that. I would love that.
All right. So I have to move my camera.
Okay.
So, all right. Apologize, everyone. I'm going to try and get this straight here so that everybody can see. I try not to jerk my camera around too much.
Yeah, see, that is exactly what I thought I saw in your post. Okay, so as you know, when you see uh his uh artwork, a lot of it shows what I know to be him from the back
Hmm.
in his hoodie with the Canadian thing. I see him in his hoodie from the front here. with his arms stretched wide.
Okay.
And the white that you have there in between is him. The dark behind is the shadow of, I don't know why I saw that, but that's what struck
Just
me.
the shadow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one is number 11, Veil Integrity. So this was one that I fell in love with immediately as soon as I painted it, that it was something that there are some paintings that I do that I'm like, oh, I don't know, it's for somebody. It's just not maybe for me, but it's complete and it's encoded. I know that. But this one, I don't know. There's something, the greens and blues for me are very soothing. It feels very balanced to me, as chaotic as it can be here. It feels very balanced to me. And veil integrity is about removing the veils and getting, kind of seeing through the layers of everything that has been piled upon us, that we need to remove in order to see
Yeah,
what and who we truly are.
right.
Yeah.
To get down to the, excuse me, bare bones of it, because that's what I
Hmm.
see there.
Yeah.
That's what that white is for me.
Yeah.
So very interesting. Jam
Yep.
Bam said, that's awesome. Julie reminds me of a bird, but like Sheila said, with subjectivity, I love birds and they have a huge significance in my life right now. White
Oh.
lines are wonderful. Good job.
Oh.
I agree. And I absolutely can see that the title is smack on, Veil Integrity, because what I interpreted as Jason in his hoodie, because Jason in his hoodie, that's his veil.
Hmm.
And that white, I knew immediately was him, stripped bare.
Hmm.
So I love the title of that.
Well, the titles are the names of the keys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't come up with the titles. Yep. I'm
that makes
retaining
even more sense.
I'm retaining all of the key names as the titles. Yep.
Okay, well, that
So,
makes even more sense there.
yeah. So, yeah.
Wow.
All right. I'm not going to go in order.
Okay,
And
that's
I don't
fine.
know if I'll do all 14, but we'll see where we get to.
Well,
So,
that's totally up to you, my love.
okay. All right. So they are all over my room here. This
Ooh, there's multiple beings in that one.
this is key 3, runtime host. And the runtime host is consciousness, is how I perceive it. It is what guides us. It's what collects all of the information. It's what we would call maybe the Akash, the Aether that he's been writing about most recently. But it collects all of that information and sort of feeds information back to us. And to me, this is kind of a bit of the energy of the runtime host, sort of emerging out from this watery kind of serene but nondescript. I don't know. I think these are all big Rorschach tests.
Well, you might be right about that. I was struck by the light in the middle
Hmm.
and how very much it puts me in mind of sometimes when I close my eyes for meditation or right before sleep, I have what amounts to that light strobing as if it was a lighthouse in front of my eyes. I can see it in front of my eyes as that big light, and then out in the distance, and then back around in front of my eyes again, which is very interesting. Um, I've never really understood what that is, and I don't always see it, but interesting to think of it being the runtime host.
Hmm. Yeah, I see it come in through the crown.
Ah, okay.
So, yeah, that's where I see it at. But I think similar. I have another one, actually, and maybe I'll show it next, of another experience that I had when I was painting this next one. Let me grab it. I've got it back here.
Now you're having these experiences. as you paint?
Sort of during the time. So not necessarily exactly while I'm doing the painting, but within the time period that I'm doing the painting. So I was doing a meditation. This is key 5 recursion echo. I was working on this one, and I was doing a meditation, and I had an experience where I came upon this incredible white light energy. I perceived it as God or consciousness or source. I don't know that it was that. I think it was the fractal echo of my soul is what I had actually seen. And I perceived, I couldn't believe that we look like that in our true state. That's why I was like, no, that had to have been God. I had to have interacted with the source. That had to be what that was, is what I told myself. And it wasn't until later that I started to realize that it was probably actually part of my soul. So that was the experience that I had while I was painting this one. And of course, I can't do it justice with acrylic paint, but
Well,
I can do an interpretation of it.
what really struck me about it as soon as you put it up there is that in late 2017, early 2018, in my meditations, I was experiencing that color, uh, not so much the bright white as much, but that color specifically, and it was whirling. Okay. And then
This moves. If you look at
yes,
this at the right angle, you can see this moving.
that's why I'm saying this is it put me in
Yep.
mind of that specifically.
Yep.
And for me, a couple of times I found myself being pulled into that, I don't know,
Field.
yeah, whatever you
Yeah.
want to call it. And
Mm-hmm.
then a couple of times, rather than being pulled in, I saw what amounted to a large eye in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just struck how that looks so much like what I had experienced.
Yeah.
And the name of this one was Key 5
Recursion echo.
Recursion Echo.
Yeah. I hadn't done the middle yet. I had just done the outer pink and white portal. I was getting ready for work in the morning, and so I'll come in and I'll check on the pieces. I take pictures of them and I'll study them on my phone to see, what they look and feel like to me in digital image as I'm working on them. And I was getting ready for work in the morning. I'm brushing my teeth, and I walk past my studio, and I see it from an angle, and I could literally see the gate spinning, and I could see it moving. And I thought, holy crap, this is alive. Like, what is going on? Just, I don't know. It's just incredible to me
No, it
how
is.
it's working, how these transmissions are working. It's unreal. So yeah,
I love that.
but it's interesting. You had a similar experience, and
Oh,
you saw
yeah.
something which makes it feel even more legitimate to me that it is something real.
Well, it certainly affected me. I actually, there used to be, I doubt Facebook let it stand, but that was a time when I was covering a trial over in Knoxville, Tennessee. And
Mm-hmm.
as I was having those experiences, I called it standing on the edge of forever because that's the way it felt. That as I was experiencing that,
Whoops.
being pulled into that, felt like I was standing on the edge of forever.
Mm.
It was very interesting at the time. So
Right. These are thick gallery box canvases, by the way,
I
which
agree.
hang very nicely. They look beautiful on the wall. All right. So some of these are not bright, shiny pastel. This is key 6, firewall entity. And so this one was one that I talked with myself about the whole time I was working on it. I kept reading the post over again. I was watching your videos that I watch also as I'm doing these, because that will bring me into the ideas and the concepts for them. And I kept asking, what is the firewall? What is the firewall entity? And so to me, it is the ego, the personality, all of those things that will stop us from seeing truth and what, what we really are, what's really there, underneath, the illusions and the overlays and the things that we have to get through to see what's real. So once I started asking those questions, then I started to be able to see a concept for this and what it really is. So this is the firewall entity.
Well, just so you know, I agree with you. I feel like that's exactly the case. The programmed conditioning that each of us have grown up being told who we are rather than our being allowed to find out on our own. We
Mm-hmm.
have had um, a lot of it handed to us. And so that is, from my perspective, that is exactly, you got it smack on. That is the firewall entity. It has to pass through all of that. And if one has been doing their work and allows open communication from other, then it's not as difficult as someone who say, well, I mean, I've run into a few folks who simply cannot open. And I understand it. Their consciousness is not at a level that they're ready to uh, even take that into consideration.
Mm-hmm.
And so that firewall entity is firmly in place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's a beast, which
Yeah.
was what I had. I had a very thick veil mask. It was densely opaque. I've even had it described to me.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
there was an Indian cardiologist that I worked with, and he said he was staring at me uncomfortably once, and he said, "Julie, people wear masks." He said, "But you have a densely opaque mask," and I didn't know what he was talking about. I had no idea. I hadn't even started asking those kinds of questions of myself for several years, even after that. And to even begin to understand what masking was, I had no concept of it at all. So yeah, so that's probably why mine looks like this. It was it was pretty intense.
Well, just the very fact that you can now see it for yourself is a
Mhm.
huge, huge, huge difference, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. It's a different feeling of life, no doubt. All right.
In
Um,
some respects, that almost looks like a crystal ball, too, when you think about it.
yeah. Yeah, there's a theme with these gates and portals for sure in these keys. At first I thought they were all going to be portals, but they aren't. But there are some that are heavily portaled. This is key 13 soul ID. This is the one that I struggled with the most because I hadn't gotten to where I could understand it. And so there are 4 layers to this painting, and they each could almost be a painting on their own, depending, on your perception of finished or not. But this is Soul ID. This one really dragged me in and out. And so when I was finishing it up, there's a layer underneath this that I was like, no, that is definitely not what that's supposed to look like. This is not what my vision of it was. And so then I got another vision of this thin bidirectional veil that kind of runs like a basket weave, kind of, and then the soul emerging from it. And then I started to see this sort of blue energy moving in and out of it. And I was like, oh, I don't know if that's supposed to look like that. And I heard, no, that's signal, leave it alone. And I said, okay. So these are the signals that kind of extend from it. But yep, this is Soul ID. This was the one that almost took me out. But yeah, they're all unique, but they have some similarities. There are a few others with portals in them also. So
For
I'm
some
looking
reason,
right
when you
here.
put that one up just now, what immediately struck me was the possibility that you had painted different instances of yourself, different fractals
Mm-hmm.
as light, the elongated, uh, each one of those, for some reason, showed themselves to me as different fractals of you wishing to be seen
Mm.
by you, perhaps, and which may be why it was a little difficult for you. I don't know what all you went through. Jam Bam said, beautiful art, beautiful people. I have to head out. Oh, that's okay.
Oh,
Julie, thanks for sharing. And Sheila, always love to hear your explanations and interpretations. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday. Well, thank you for spending some time with us, Jam Bam.
thank you. Yes. It's funny that you say that because while I was working on this piece, that's one of the things I was struggling with was the attachment to being seen. Because for years, uh, if I had never been seen by anyone or anything in my life, I would have been fine. But somewhere I also had an attachment that I had to be seen. And so then I had to go through dealing with what had happened in the psyche that would make a person want to be invisible and seen at the same time. And so I did locate it, figured out what it was, saw the pattern of it, and isolated it while I was working on this painting. Yes. So it's extremely profound that you just said that.
Well, and very surprising to myself as you're saying that, I can tell you instantly what I got because I suffered from the same sort of thing. Having been 490 pounds, there was no chance I was ever going to be invisible. And what I heard in my head was I wanted to be seen for who I was,
Mm-hmm.
not what I was. Not the 490-pound woman,
Yeah.
not that,
Yeah.
but me, which is what, when I was asked the question once, why are fat people so jolly? I I know, can you believe that? I actually answered because we have to try harder for people to see us for what we are rather who we are rather than what we are.
Yeah.
And so very interesting to me that you and I both had the same sort of thing going there,
Yeah.
just a little bit of a different perspective.
Yep.
Well, see, that's why I think now this is why I called this the art of connection,
Mm-hmm.
because there are reasons that you and I came together to do things like we're doing. We may never fully know the full ramification of all of it, but I cannot unsee just what has already transpired with us getting together just to have this conversation, much
Yeah.
less the others that we've done.
Yep. True.
Yeah,
All right. You ready for another one?
I
How much time
am.
have how long have we been on here? I don't
I,
have a clock.
I am. I am. Oh, what? Only worried about that if you've got somewhere to go, because I have nowhere to go and nothing to do.
I don't really know.
Okay.
I'm not even cooking today, I announced.
Okay. Awesome. Well, then we're not worried about timing.
All right. Here's one that to me is different than the others, but it's so vibrant and so fun. It was another one where I was like, "Oh my God, I love it. I want to keep it for myself, but I can't."
Yeah, it is my sincere hope that that these are purchased in toto. They are done, that's, I love that.
This is key 9 system exit. So this is exiting the matrix. So yeah, I did borrow a little bit of the matrixy colors here from the well-known Matrix movie, but that just makes it more fun to me.
No,
The
I
thing I
love
really
that.
like is this lime color right here.
Yes.
This looks three-dimensional if you look at it at the right angle in person, especially with the black splatter on top of it. So because of the way the layers are done, and there's the underpainting, and then there's just some different energy moving on top of it. It almost comes apart in some ways when you study it. It's I don't know. I don't know how it's happening. I'm not intending it. But
Right.
some of the pieces are very much alive, very much moving, very much interacting.
Yes, and there's something else in it that's showing itself to me, and maybe it's because of the green coloring, but I also see what some would call an alien. Uh, I almost see one of I think they're termed they are termed the grays, but they're commonly depicted as green, mostly the glow in the dark type of green. Um, and I very clearly from here, as far away as I am from my laptop and from the actual painting itself, at least that's what's being shown to me, an outline of that. There's many other things being shown to me in that as well, but I cannot deny that that is, and it could be being shown specifically to me for a specific reason. I don't know that, but oh, and now I got something coming in this ear, so that's very interesting. Okay.
Anything you want to share?
Well, it's almost like a frequency change.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it just was something moving through my head very quickly. So
Interesting.
like,
Okay.
yeah, it was, and it's very interesting. And all of a sudden my room is hot as I don't know what.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's very interesting.
Okay. Well, I don't want to freak you out.
Why, no, tell me, what do you mean?
Oh, about the hotness and stuff. I didn't know if that was making you uncomfortable.
Oh, no, no, not at all. Well,
Okay.
as much as heat does make anybody uncomfortable, but
Yeah.
no, there's no freaking out over here.
Okay. All right. Where shall we go next? Mhm. This one is a
Oh,
little bit hard to see because of the black. And the black is it's extremely deep. This is primary key 1. And I haven't reread it because that's just the name of it. It doesn't have another descriptive part to the name, but it is primary key 1. And because I didn't reread it recently, I can't remember exactly what it's about, but I do know that this is the breach in the primary key. And so underneath this, there's an entirely blue portal, which is how this started out. This was actually all of this blue color. There's some texture on here. And then as it started to work through my system, I saw the depth in it and I painted the whole thing, almost the whole thing black. And then the red and yellow started to emerge into this spinning field.
well, in the spinning field, I see the formation of the only thing that when I asked myself what I was seeing, what I got was the phoenix
Mm.
emerging from that. There's
Mm-hmm.
sort of a reddish maroon mix in the black that I see.
Yep.
And so it looks It doesn't look very phoenix-like at the moment, aside from what I see of a beak. But that's what I got when I asked myself the question, what am I seeing there in that maroon? And what I got was the phoenix. And it's been so long since I've read or recorded those keys. I don't recall any of them.
Mhm. The texture in this has a recursive symbol. So then also when you see it in person and up close, you get the symbol of the recursion, you get the breach, you get the spinning portal, you get the phoenix, you get the blood, which is also the red.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I love that. And I love the depth of that too, because you can see the depth in that.
This one's hard to photograph. I've taken pictures of it and I've not been able to do it successfully because of the black and the way the black reflects. So I probably need a really good scanner, which is another thing that if somebody wanted to be a benefactor and help support some of what needs to happen with the collection, that would be great. But to have them scanned would be extremely helpful, because then I could have these made into a card series as well, with descriptions of the keys and everything that people could carry with them. That would be another way that these could be utilized. So I think that would be beautiful to do.
Now, I would be happy if you'd like, for some reason, as you said that, I wonder if a printer that does blueprints for like architects and things like that wouldn't have a scanner large enough.
They might.
Okay, I'm going to do a little footwork for you and see what I can find out.
Okay. We have some architect companies here in the town I live in that might do. I hadn't even thought about that until you said it. Okay. All right. I'll show a couple more. This is key 2, mirror state.
Oh my.
So this is the mirror. Yeah. And as you probably know, I don't know if anybody watching knows, the mirror is the world. Everything is your mirror. And
Right,
if we can pay attention to that and how we are perceiving other people, then truly what we are perceiving are those things that we probably need to look at within ourselves. And so this key is about realizing what is the mirror, dissolving the mirror, dealing with all of those things that we think are outside us, that are actually being shown to us as parts of our own selves.
right. That's one of the hardest things to actually come to know. At least it
Mm-hmm.
was for me, to realize that the things I'm complaining about, you over there, is really something that is lacking within myself, and that's why I'm complaining about it.
Not necessarily lacking, but
Okay, or
maybe just
suppressing or
need.
what something that I'm not dealing with.
Yeah,
Let's put it that way.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was one of the hardest things for me to really see and work with.
I
To
don't know if anybody finishes that process.
Yeah, no, I
I
I
think
know
that's a I think that's a lifelong examination.
no, I think you're right. And
Mm-hmm.
anytime I want to be
Mm-hmm.
critical of anything, I have to ask myself, okay, so what's that about?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
So,
No, I like
all
that.
right.
It actually looks very much like a mirror in many ways. And it reminds me again of that light that I see sometimes behind my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. There's something to that. I'm not quite sure what that is, but there's a reason that keeps surfacing for me with your paintings.
Yeah, you'll have to find out.
Yes, yes, I will.
Maybe ask. All
I think so.
right. Let's do one more.
Okay. Oh
I
my.
love this color combination. You could probably tell.
Oh my. I do too, though.
E7, null point access. So the null point is what some people call the womb of no thing. It is the black that we think is empty that is actually full of everything. And null point access is about that field and remembering being in that field. And so the depiction here and the colors are just whatever can come out of it. It's not a depiction itself of the field because that would be a completely black canvas. So instead, there's just some movement from it and some texture with it. That unfortunately you can't see so well on the camera, but there's some really neat texture with it.
No, I must be able to see at least part of it because I see Jason in that one again.
Do you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. An emergence.
He was a big influence.
Well, absolutely. And that's why I say
Yeah.
that. And it could be, like I said, because, beauty is in the eye of the beholder also. And so it could be that it's showing itself to me as Jason for a reason of which I don't really quite know. But I see him depicted in that as well. And whenever I think of that field, I call it, of course, it's going to leave my head now, the field of all potentiality is really what it is. It's almost the precursor to materialization. It's
Mhm.
the step it where all the thoughts and feelings and all of that begin to move out of that. What is it? The pre, yeah, the pre-matter template. That's what,
Okay.
yeah, the pre-matter template. That's what was trying to come out of my mouth.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love those colors.
I do too. This
Yeah.
was another one that I was like, oh, I'd like to have that. That would defeat the purpose.
Well, I love the idea of those becoming cards, as you suggested. That would be something I would adore too, to
Mhm.
to have access to those reasons. I feel like they, at differing times, will hold differing things for differing people. And, to own that set, to me, it just feels like that would be wonderful to have as a tool for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'd like to do whatever I can to help you get that, see if we can't get that accomplished.
Mhm. Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Julie, my goodness.
So this is fun. Yeah, I'm enjoying doing it. Here I'll probably move back over and sit in the chair and we can chat some more. Let me move some
Okay.
stuff out of the way.
Well, I want to thank you for coming and sharing your work
Are you kidding? Thank
with
you.
us.
If it
Well,
weren't for you, probably nobody would even know about this.
oh, are you kidding? Come on. Yes, yes, they would. Yes, they would. And besides, I feel absolutely honored and privileged to be a part of that kind of artwork. My goodness, that's just absolutely phenomenal what you're doing there. And like I said, I really do feel like there are keys and codes in your artwork specifically paired with Jason's words, that can do a lot of things for a lot of people. And so I would love to see that um, become a traveling exhibit, at least for a time before
Mhm.
they were, so if there's, anyone that sees this, that is interested in assisting to have this become a traveling exhibit, reach out to Julie. There will be ways in which to contact Julie in the show more section of this video. This video is also going to appear on your channel as well, right?
I'll share it on my YouTube and my Facebook page because I put on Facebook that we were going live. I don't know how many people would have joined through YouTube, but maybe they'll watch the Facebook video when I post there. Yeah.
Yeah, we it looks like we have 3 folks watching at the moment.
Okay.
And what I know about anytime I do any of this, usually there's, many more folks look at it afterwards. And so, yeah, I would love to see that happen. So how, and if you don't feel comfortable reaching out to Julie specifically, reach out to me. Maybe we can try to do some sort of, fundraising thing to be I don't know, I would love to see a foundation that has geared toward humanity be the one to step up and say they would be the benefactor for this to be a traveling exhibit.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would love to see that happen.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. Okay.
I just had another thought and it left. What was it? Hmm. Cannot remember.
Well,
It's gone.
well, if you remember, hit me up, bring it back.
Okay.
We're going to do more of these, I'm sure. At
Oh,
least I
that's what it
hope.
was. That's what it was. Once I finish the 33 keys, I'm thinking of also painting the 13 meta keys that follow this series. So we'll see
Well,
where that goes, but they go together and I would love to do the complete collection.
and you did send me all of those as well, right? Because that really
Mhm.
was the thing that I wanted to dive into next for myself
Mhm.
was the 13 meta keys. Or did I already?
No, I think you did those. So if you go into your playlist of the works of author Jason Gray, that's where you have the keys, and then separately you have a playlist for the meta keys.
Okay,
Now,
then I
now that I
did do
think
it.
about it, you have the meta keys broken out separately.
Okay, then I did do it already. Okay. See,
Mhm.
I get lost. When it's like a part of me steps aside when I'm because I haven't read any of that work for myself. When I start recording it is when I read it for myself as well for the first time. And
Mhm.
it's almost as though a part of me steps aside. I don't, it's very interesting what happens there. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, I will have a way for folks to reach out and get in touch with you, and I so appreciate you and all that you do.
Thank you, Sheila. Thank
Well,
you.
you are much more prolific with getting Jason's work recorded than I have been, and I'm so grateful to you for that. And so there will be, I encourage everyone to go over to Julie's channel, subscribe there, and have a listen to what Julie's doing over there. And there will be ways that folks can get in touch with you about the paintings, especially if someone is interested in assisting that to become a traveling exhibit. I would love for somebody to step forward and say, hey, I'll help do that. And was there anything else you wanted to share before we say goodbye?
I would like to ask people to help you get some new glasses so you
Yes.
can so you can continue to read. Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. Yes, I did promise myself that I would remember to say that at the end of every recording. I am also going to be placing in the show more section of this video after where you can get in touch with Julie. You will see places where you can contribute to my glasses fund. Unfortunately, I think it was pre-pandemic. These glasses that I have now were $678. So I have no idea what it's going to cost now for a new pair of glasses.
Yeah.
But every little $5 here and there helps. So,
Mhm.
If you can spare your cup of coffee for me that way, I would really appreciate it. And I want to thank you because you have contributed to that fund, and I appreciate you for that so much.
Of
And
course. Thank you for everything you do for me, for
uh,
your recordings. I listen to them frequently and get something different out of them from even reading them. So
oh, well,
yes,
thank you
thank
for
you.
that. I appreciate it so much. Ah, Jules, yes, you did, but you can always catch the next one and catch the replay. Jules just said, "Oh, damn, I've missed this."
Oh, yeah, it's being recorded though, so that's
That's right.
okay.
It's being recorded and it will be on Julie's channel as well as it will be available here under the live. All of my lives end up being under the live tab. And if you're seeing this after the fact on New Light Streaming Love, it will just simply be uploaded. So that's why it's important to be subscribed in all three places, Julie,
Mhm.
me, and New Light Streaming Love.
Mhm.
Okay, well, thank you so much, my dear, for spending your Sunday afternoon with me. I do
Thank
appreciate
you.
that.
Yeah,
And to everyone
appreciate
else, thanks for
it.
being here, and we'll see you next time.